back channel chat. What this does is basically it's like a transcript. And so we can ask questions. I've already got 2 questions up there, but we can ask questions without being kind of embarrassed to raise our hand. I know there's probably about 150 people in here right now, and yes, I'm nervous. However, I probably will answer those questions, but not everybody wants to raise their hand. For you that don't know me, I am Tandy Hughes. I was actually at the middle school last year, and I had an opportunity to come to the high school where kind of my passion lies. I taught high school for 8 years before I moved over to the middle school, and so that's kind of where my passion lies. My mom's a 33-year veteran counselor, and so I'm kind of following after her footsteps. So again, my name is Mrs. Hughes. If you want to fix my name on the front of your red folder, it didn't necessarily like my T, and so I guess I am Andy on that, but go ahead and add my T. I am Tandy with 2 E's.
Hi, my name is Lori Johnson, and I am also new to the high school this year. I grew up in North Texas. I'm actually from Whitewright. I graduated from Whitewright High School. Moved away for a while, but I'm back up here. A little bit about me. I taught school for 6 years, all the way elementary school, all the way up to high school, and then the last 2 years before I moved back up here, I was a counselor at Texas A&M University in College Station. But I decided I wanted to be closer to home, so I moved back up here. Tandy actually taught with my mom, so we have a great connection there. We knew each other before we started working together, and we've done pretty well so far this year, so we work well together. My name is actually correct on the front of your folder because I'm the one that printed them, and I made sure that my email was perfectly right. So we are so excited that you guys are here tonight, and we are hoping that we can explain everything about what it's like to be a Pottsboro High School Cardinal where you understand it. I'm sure both of us are a little bit nervous. We're being videotaped for anybody that missed tonight, so please be patient with us. It has been a definite it's been a pretty hard thing getting this put together. I know that we've had some issues with you guys making appointments online. We had some appointments made in German. We had appointments made in the wrong time zone and things like that. So we appreciate you guys being patient with us on the individual appointment thing. And we're so glad that you're here. And we're going to get started. Like Tandy said, if you have questions, if you'll please use that app and ask your questions through that way so that we can make sure we get a transcript so that we can post it later on our website and you guys can have a record of that. And I'll let Tandy start us off.
Okay, so we kind of already introduced ourselves. I am actually the counselor for A through J. An easy way to think about that is H comes before J, and so I have the first half of the alphabet. So if your child, that's part of your checklist, and y'all all know that we are teachers at heart, so on your checklist, if you want to go ahead and fill out who your child's counselor is, you can go ahead and do that. So again, for A through J, Tandy Hughes, that's me, and then for J through K, that is Miss Johnson. K through Z, same thing. So here's kind of our agenda that we are kind of going to be talking about. So the very first one are going to be our graduation requirements. Then we're also going to talk about scheduling and our course offerings, our credits. Basically, what is a credit? And so I know that a lot of these kids are taking IPC. In fact, all of them should. And then we should have about 20% who are also taking Algebra 1. Transition to high school. How is it going to be different and how is it going to be the same? Athletics, activities, our EOC exams, which are also known as our STAR exams, communication and health is available, and what other questions that we have.
Okay, so end of course exams. Every student that comes to high school is required to take 5 end of course exams. Those 5 exams that you must pass are Algebra 1, English 1, Biology, English 2, and U.S. History. You have a copy of this PowerPoint in your folder, so if you want to follow along and take notes in there, you're more than welcome to. Ninth graders take 3 of those tests. So next year you're going to take English 1, you're going to take Algebra 1, and you're going to take Biology, okay? It is the most rigorous Part of your high school career in regards to EOCs that you have to take 3 of them, and then it gets less and less as you move on. 10th grade is English 2, and then 11th grade is U.S. History. If your student is taking Algebra 1 in 8th grade, make sure I'm correct, they'll take the EOC this year. Okay, if your student is taking Algebra 1 this year in 8th grade, they will take it this year, okay? So they won't have that in 9th grade as long as they pass.
Okay, so what exactly is what we call our high school language? So the very first one is a credit is actually a full year. And those are going to be things like English, Algebra 1, World Geography, and all of those are a full year class. A half a credit is 0.5, so that's going to be a half a credit or half a semester long. So those classes, and I'm getting really close to my camera right there, those are going to be speech, health, dollars and cents is actually one of those. So those are half a semester. We only have 2 semesters here at the high school. The first half is going to be the first half, so from August to December, and then the second half is actually going to be from January when we come back from Christmas to the end of this school year.
Okay, graduation requirements. Probably the most important thing for your child is how do we get them graduated from high school. Your student is on what we call the Foundation High School Plan. This plan came into being, I guess, 4 or 5 years ago. Our first class that will graduate on the Foundation Plan are our current juniors. So next year will be our first class to graduate on the Foundation Plan. Your student will also be on this plan. The requirements for the Foundation Plan are 4 credits of English Language Arts, so that's 4 years, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year. You have to take English all 4 years, okay? You don't get out of it. Mathematics, you're required to have 3 credits. Now this is the foundation course, this is the basic requirements for graduation. We're going to talk about extras that you can do in a minute, but this is just like if you want to graduate on the basic plan that you can. 3 credits of mathematics. Those are Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2. The state of Texas requires you to have Algebra 2, okay? So you're not going to get out of that one. Science credits, 3 credits. Biology, Chemistry, and Physics. We require physics locally as a district requirement, so physics, every student will take physics. Social studies is 4 credits. World Geography is a credit, World History, U.S. History, and then Government and Economics are both a semester each. So in the fall of your senior year, students, you'll take Government. In the spring of your senior year, you'll take Economics. Then you're required to take World Languages, 2 credits. Currently, we only offer Spanish. Spanish 1 and Spanish 2. That could change in the future, but right now you should just expect to be taking Spanish 1 and Spanish 2, okay? And then physical education. Does anybody yell out what is physical education? Do you know? PE, okay? PE or athletics or something like that. We don't use physical education very often. That's 1 credit. You have to have 1 year of physical education. Health and speech. That's 1 credit together. Health is a semester, speech is a semester. Those are paired up at Pottsboro High School, so you'll take Health 1 semester, speech the other. They could be flip-flopped, okay? You might take speech first and then health, but those are required. And then visual, performing, or applied arts is 1 credit. That's going to be band, art, choir, or theater arts, okay? You have to have one of those. Band, art, choir, or theater arts, okay? And then finally, your elective credits. Those are 5 credits of your choice, and we're fixing to go over kind of what your elective credits are going to be used for here in just a second. But if you have these 22 credits, those are the minimum graduation requirements, and you can graduate from high school. Minimum, okay?
So let's kind of talk about the 9th grade course offerings. So if you'll go ahead and look inside of that folder, you will see a piece of, I think it's pink paper, and it has like the cardinal on it. So we'll go ahead and we'll look at that. So here are your 2 choices for your English class. So you can either take English 1, or you can take Pre-AP, which is PAP. You don't have to pick that right now. Y'all can go home and talk about it. For math, if you are already in Algebra 1 and you're going to pass, your 2 choices are either taking Geometry or Pre-AP Geometry. If you're not in Algebra 1 right now, you need to take Algebra 1. Or you could go ahead and take that geometry pre-AP if you have had Algebra 1. The next one is going to be science. So Ms. Jarvis teaches our science. I used to teach biology, so this one is at my heart. I go in there fairly often and kind of see what they're doing. But your two choices are, of course, your biology or your pre-AP biology. Social studies, world geography, or pre-AP world geography. Your only choice is Spanish, so you have to take that one. Physical education, you can either take athletics or PE, or if you are going to be in the marching band, that will actually count. It's a one semester, so you'll have to take it again your sophomore year, and then we can pair those up for you to get your PE credit. And then you have to take it's not an option, you have to go ahead and take one of those fine arts. Don't switch because we can't combine them. So whatever you're in is what you're in for the whole year, so that we can make sure you get that full credit for it.
Okay, so what is pre-AP versus regular class, okay? Pre-AP is the prep class for AP courses, which are advanced placement, okay? Advanced placement courses are going to be more rigorous courses that students are going to take in high school that they can eventually take a test for to get college credit, okay? Pre-AP classes are supposed to prepare you for that AP course. So pre-AP classes have summer homework. So students, listen carefully. If you are thinking, you and parents too, if you are thinking of signing up for pre-AP classes for your freshman year, so like that pre-AP biology or that pre-AP geometry or the pre-AP world geography, you have to do work in the summer. And listen, you can't wait until 2 weeks before school starts and then decide, oh, I don't want to be in pre-AP anymore. That's not how it works, okay? You'll sign a contract if you decide to do pre-AP, and you have until August 1st to change your mind on whether you don't want to do it. And if you change your mind after August 1st, you have to be in it for the first 6 weeks of school. Okay? So we want you to think long and hard about taking pre-AP classes. They are worth your time. They are fantastic. The teachers do well. You will learn a lot, but think about that, talk about that, have discussions between parent and student about what that means and whether you're willing to take the responsibility of doing summer work, okay? For academic classes, you should expect about 30 minutes of homework per subject per night. For pre-AP classes, expect about 45 minutes of homework per subject per night, okay? So you're not going to get to leave school at 3:40 and do whatever you want if you're in a pre-AP class. You're probably going to have some kind of assignment that you're going to have to work on, okay? Pre-AP classes are on a 5.0 scale versus a regular class that's at a 4.0 scale, okay? GPA is very important. You guys may not know a lot about that. That's your grade point average, okay? Your grade point average is what's going to help you get into college. It's what we go by when we talk about graduating in the top 10%. Or graduating as a valedictorian or salutatorian. It is never too early to start thinking about what you want your grade point average to be in high school. If you want to get into a good college, which we'll talk about that in a little bit, if you want to go to college, the work starts now, okay? It starts now, and so we want to prepare you for that and make sure you know. Questions to ask yourself: what are my favorite subjects? You do not have to take every pre-AP class that's offered for a freshman. If math is not your strong suit, you might not want to take pre-AP geometry. But if you're fantastic, you love to read, you love to write, you excel at it, English 1 pre-AP, take a chance, go for it. It'll be a fantastic class. Ms. Patterson is wonderful. What extracurricular activities am I going to participate in? If you're going to be involved in every single sport or every single theater production or the choir program and things like that, you may not want to take all of those pre-AP classes because you may be completely overloaded, okay? We don't want you to come in and be so upset because you're a freshman in high school and you're so overloaded with stuff that you can't hardly function. We want you to be successful, and we want you to be as relaxed as possible and doing well and being successful in classes. So what extracurricular activities is a good question to ask yourself. What do my middle school teachers recommend? You guys have been with some of these teachers for three years. Go up and ask them. Say, hey, I went to parent orientation last night, and they were talking about PAP classes. What do you think? How successful would I be in that? They'll give you an honest opinion, okay? And they might know because they've been watching your work, and they can help you think about that kind of stuff. And then how competitive do you want to be for college admissions, okay? Remember, these are on a higher GPA scale, pre-AP classes. So those are going to make you more competitive for college, okay? Think about those questions.
So one thing that I kind of wanted to add with Ms. Johnson is we've got some seniors that have decided that they want to go and play some sports. However, when they were a freshman, they kind of slacked off and they got a lot of C's. So when we tried to figure out their GPA was in the 2s, 2.7, 2.6. Well, then they only had to divide by 8 because that's how many classes that we had, that's how many credits that they got. So then their sophomore year came, and now we've got to divide by 16. And then, so it keeps on going. However, now that they're a senior, their goal was to get to a 3.5 because now not only did they get an academic scholarship, but they got an athletic scholarship as well. However, we've got a few kids that didn't get the athletic because they didn't hit the 3.5. So they came to me, Miss Hughes, is there any way for me to get that 3.5? Well, let me just tell you, Miss O'Mary was not my math teacher, and that's not my strong suit. However, I'm going to tell you, when you have to start dividing by that many numbers, it's hard to pull up to a 3.5. In fact, we have to round to like the thousandths by the time that we have to try to get it back up. So your freshman year, you need to make sure that you are putting forth any effort, okay? We're talking about study hall here, get here in the mornings, do those sorts of things. So one thing that, this is kind of where Ms. Johnson and I, we had to sit down, and I bet we talked through it for about 3 days about an endorsement and what was an endorsement. And so we have 5 endorsements that we're going to talk about. And so basically what an endorsement is this is a series of classes that you are going to take in chronological order. So you're going to take it your freshman year, sophomore year, junior, and senior year. So we have 5 endorsements at Pottsboro ISD that we've tried to push really hard to try to get because we weren't offering all of them yet. And so we tried to get there. So the very first one is STEM. Somebody posted on our back channel, what exactly is STEM? And so this is going to be science, technology, engineering, which I think I spelled wrong, and mathematics. And so that is going to be students who want to go into some sort like that. We're going to break down each one of these categories here in a minute, and so this is kind of just a broad. The next one is going to be business and industries. Here at Pottsboro ISD and at the high school, this is our biggest endorsement that we are able to offer for y'all. We've got a lot of CTE teachers. We've got 2 in the ag department. We've got 2 as the parents we know is home ed now. And so we are excited about those kids. Public service. The only public service that we are going to offer is going to be our education class. Dr. Matthews is super excited about being able to offer this. We haven't offered it in the past, and we are actually really excited about it as well. Arts and humanities, that's of course, we call this hallway right down here. That's going to be our arts, choir, band, and theater. And then the very last one is going to be multidisciplinary studies. Here, every kid will be able to graduate with the multidisciplinary study. That's just what we would call general studies kind of in the college realm.
Okay, the STEM endorsement. So STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. This is a very popular endorsement because a lot of students want to go on and either be a science major in college, something like biology, biomedical science, chemistry, something like that. Technology, everybody in here has a cell phone. You know, that's something that everybody's really interested in. Engineering, which is a very popular degree once you get to college. And mathematics, which is neither Ms. Hughes and I's favorite subject, but we go with it anyway, and a lot of kids are really successful at that. So STEM is basically a 5-credit endorsement where you get 5 credits in either math or science. You get to choose. You do 5 credits in math, which would be Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, and then you would choose 2 from the last, which either would be AP Calculus, Foundations of College Math, Pre-Cal, and you had to choose 2 of those. And then STEM science would be biology, chemistry, physics, and then you choose from either advanced animal science, AP physics, forensic science, anatomy, and physiology. Okay, that's what STEM is. It's pretty easy. You can almost call it a 4x4 in a sense, except for you have that one extra either math or science course, okay?
So like I told you that this is going to be our biggest endorsement that we'll be able to offer here at Pottsboro High School. So the very first one is going to be hospitality and tourism. We actually haven't offered this cluster basically in this endorsement, but when you look at this, I wish my thing had a pointer on it. Probably does. I knew it worked.
It does.
Oh, there it is. So here we have our freshman class, which is going to be principles of hospitality and tourism, travel and tourism management, culinary arts, and then a practicum, which is going to be double blocked. When we say something like double blocked, that means that they'll take that class together. So they'll take it back to back. So probably for about an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes, they'll actually take that class where they'll get some hands-on experience in cooking, in the cooking realm. So these are kids that want to go into the college for hospitality and tourism. People that want to maybe go on a cruise ship, those sorts of things. Our next one is going to be financial systems. Raise your hand, student-wise, if you are in BILM currently. It should be all of y'all, okay? So the very first one is BILM 1. So guess what? Check that one off your list because you've already got it. So you can start with the principles of business, marketing, and finance. So these are kids that want to go into my accounting realm, my kids that want to be a CPA, those sorts of things. So that's really important. BIM 2 is actually going to be, you would take it actually your sophomore year, and then your junior year, what would be my personal favorite, would be sports and entertainment marketing, and that's going to be half a credit, and then that second half is actually going to be dollars and cents. So parents, we know how to balance a checkbook. Some of us just log on and look at our account and hope nobody stole our money. But this will give you the kids a way for them to learn how to balance a checkbook, what type of interest they're going to pay on like a 30-year note for a house, those sorts of things, things that we would find very practical. Ag foods and natural resources. We've got several under this just because we've got 2 ag teachers out there. So the very first one is going to be principles of ag. That's going to be our freshman class. If you want to ever take anything in ag, you've got to start off with this one. It's not an option. However, if you actually kind of want to compete in FFA, such as if you want to be, now I was never an ag person, I do know about animals, but they have like cheese tasting, or they have how to, I don't know, look at a cow and determine what type of beef it is, something like that, I don't really know. But that's where you're going to need to be. That is actually going to be an approved class, and so you have to get instructor approval for that. So you're going to need to send them an email. Your sophomore year, you can either take wildlife or horticulture. With horticulture, that's going to be your flowers and things like that. Your junior year is your practicum 1, which is going to be double blocked. Or you can take floral design. So that's going to be your junior year. And so then your last one is going to be advanced animal science. Now, if you think back, that advanced animal science was also an option in that STEM endorsement as well. So there's a way right there for you to get 2 endorsements. And then last would be floral design 2.
Okay, also in business and industry, continue on, remember Ms. Hughes said that we have 2 ag teachers. Well, one of our ag teachers focuses more on like the horticulture and that type of area, and then our other ag teacher, he does more ag mechanic type stuff. So after they take principles of ag, they can either take ag business management and marketing, that's another course that has to be approved by the instructor, or ag mechanics, okay, which is the first kind of introduction into, I know they start talking about welding and they do stuff similar to that. And then they would take ag fabrication or ag power systems, and then finally their senior year, you guys would take shop, where you do basically welding every day, that kind of stuff, building. I know that right now some of our seniors are building Miss Hughes a farmhouse table for her new house. So she bought the wood for them, and they're doing it for their Lord Lake project. So there's a lot of fun stuff that you get to do in ag if that's something that interests you. I made it 1 day in ag in high school, and I found out that you had to memorize this big long oath, and I said, bye. And so that was my 1 day in ag. So I know nothing about ag really that much, but I love going out and visiting them out in the ag trades. They're fantastic teachers, and they really are great to be around. Finally, we are in the process of working on the Advanced Manufacturing Technology Certificate Program, okay? And so what that is a program through Grayson County College. If your student is someone who is maybe not interested in going on to a 2-year or a 4-year university after high school. They're more of a hands-on, really want to get that out into the workforce after high school. This might be a great program for them. They don't actually do anything your freshman year other than take your regular classes. But then starting your sophomore year, you get to take this class called Technical Calculations and Precision Tools and Management. And it's really cool because you basically get to mess around with tools all the time and learn about all the different types of tools that you need to use, maybe if you go into a manufacturing job. And then your junior year, you will actually spend part of your time, your junior and senior year, part of your time at Grayson County College, working with the professors there who are going to teach you about advanced manufacturing. And then when your student graduates with this endorsement, they will also have a certificate in advanced manufacturing. Every year we take our freshmen on to Manufacturing Day. We did this year, and I'm expecting that we will next year. There is a great need for people that are certified to be in manufacturing jobs in North Texas. They are really pushing this certificate program because they have a need for students for people who are ready to go, even straight out of high school, because they have this type of training, and you can get some pretty good jobs straight out of high school if that's something that interests you, that makes probably more money than Miss Hughes and I make. But it's something that you have to really be interested in. When I went on my visit, I went to Jennison Industries, and we learned all about molds, and we got to make some arrowheads, and we got to make some starfish, which was the students thought really cool. And what I thought was really awesome was that the girls were really into it, and really asked a lot of questions, and it was something that I thought was pretty amazing. So it's definitely something to think about if you're interested in going on not the traditional path towards college or something like that. Okay.
All right, so public and service. So there's actually several clusters in this one. However, we are actually only able to make this one little cluster out of public service. So that's going to be our education and training. We've never offered this before, but we're really excited about it. When the kids finally get done, they will actually get to go and take their SBEC. So that's for teachers out there, that's our certification, and they'll actually get to have their teacher aide certification after this. We have gone ahead, and I've been talking to Miss Curry. She is the assistant principal at the elementary, and we're actually going to go together where our kids will get to go over there and do some practical at the elementary level. So their freshman year, they will take principles of education. Sophomore year is human growth and development. Their junior year will be their practicum, where they'll get to go over to the elementary, and they'll actually get to see what it's like in a real elementary classroom. And in their junior year, they will be double blocked. So kind of like the same as when we were talking about the ag, those sorts of things, they'll be double blocked back-to-back classes.
Okay, and this is one of the easiest endorsements to get if you're interested in fine arts. So if you're interested in band or choir or theater arts or art, it's really easy to get this endorsement. You take 4 years of one of them, and you've got the endorsement. So if you're planning on being in band for 4 years, you need to mark fine arts because you're going to get an endorsement in fine arts. If you're planning on being in choir in 4 years, things like that, it's pretty easy to get one of these. Now, notice down at Fine Arts Theater, theater offers not only theater 1, 2, 3, and 4, but it also offers theater production 1, 2, and 3. Theater production is going to be where you, and I may not say it perfectly right because I'm not Ms. Filcher, but that's where you're going to be building sets, doing directorial type stuff, and things like that, maybe makeup, props, all that kind of stuff. So that's what theater production is, okay? Okay, and then finally, multidisciplinary studies, which we already talked about. Every student in here is going to get a multidisciplinary studies endorsement just because the way that our district has set up the graduation requirements, everybody gets it. It's basically what you call a 4x4. You get 4 credits in English, 4 credits in science, 4 credits in math, and 4 credits in social studies. As long as you get 4 credits in each one of those, you will get a multidisciplinary endorsement. Okay, so it's real easy. It's one of the easiest ones, and we've already talked about all of those classes: English 1, 2, 3, English 4, all of those. So I won't repeat too many of those. Okay, You've got this in your folder, so go ahead and pull this pink sheet out if you've already got it out. This is one of the more important things. This is what we need you guys to kind of look over tonight or tomorrow night, whenever your individual appointment is, and kind of have this marked up before we go. This is the PHS 4-year plan with an endorsement is what we're going to go with. So up at the top is where you put your name. Everybody has an ID number. Your ID number is your lunch number, okay? So you should know it. You can go ahead and put that down as well. And then what grade you're going to be in next year, which would be 9th grade, okay? So the top's really easy to fill out. Over on the left, can you see that? Over on the left right here is your grad plan, and this is for 2018 and after, so that's our juniors, our sophomore, our current freshmen, and you guys, 8th graders, who are going to be freshmen. Okay, we want everybody to graduate on foundation plan plus endorsement. Okay, that's where we're going to start. I know earlier we talked about the minimum requirements, but I told you everybody can get a 4x4, so that's where we're going to start is with the endorsement. Also, there's the foundation with endorsement and performance acknowledgement, okay? This is going to be a little different, parents, than what you may be used to if you've had a student who's graduated in the past on what was called minimum recommended or distinguishment, okay? It's going to be a little bit different. Okay, so a performance acknowledgement basically awards students for doing an outstanding performance in something. If you turn on the back of that pink sheet, it has a list of performance acknowledgments that students can get. Okay? The first one is they can get 12 hours or more with a grade of 3.0 or 4.0 in a dual credit class. Dual credit classes are through Grayson. You get high school credit and you get college credit. That happens at your junior and senior year, okay? You can get, if you get 12 hours and you have at least a 3.0 out of 4.0, so at least a B average, you can get a performance acknowledgement for that. Next would be completing all English classes with a GPA of 80 or better and completing 3 credits in the same language other than English with a minimum GPA of an 80. So that means you have to complete all 4 of your English classes with an 80 or better, and then you also have to take 3 credits of Spanish, okay? Spanish 1, Spanish 2, and Spanish 3, okay? And have an 80 or better in those classes. If you do that, you get a performance acknowledgement, okay? If you do 1 and 2 together, you get 2 performance acknowledgements, okay? 3, on an AP test with a minimum score of 3. Remember we talked about AP. You get college credit for taking AP courses. Okay, our AP courses that we currently offer are AP English 3, AP English 4, AP US History, AP Physics, and AP Calculus, okay? And AP US Government and AP Economics, okay? If you take the test in all of those and you make a 3 or better, and at least 1, you get a performance acknowledgement. If you get commended on the PSAT, which is basically you are a commended national scholar, so you have to score a certain amount on the PSAT. It's different every year, so I can't tell you the exact score that you have to have. That's on your junior year PSAT. That's the one that counts, okay? Or a 1250 on the SAT or a 28 composite on the ACT, you get a performance acknowledgement. And then finally, if you earn a nationally or internally recognized business or industry certificate or license, so if you're in that Ag Mech class, the Ag Mech endorsement or something like that, and you get a nationally certified or nationally acclaimed, whatever, certification, you get a performance acknowledgement. All of these performance acknowledgements, they won't be on your diploma, okay? They're going to be on your transcript, okay? They're going to be listed down at the bottom on your transcript. They'll say what performance acknowledgement you got. It kind of basically takes the place of being distinguished. That's what performance acknowledgements do. So you, if you want to be on the distinguished level of achievement, you need to do the foundation plan plus endorsement with a performance acknowledgement.
So there are several of y'all, there's about 16 that are going to be taking the PSAT 8 on Wednesday. It is never too early to start thinking about this. We actually have seniors who haven't taken it at all, and colleges, your JUCOs don't, which are universities, or your D2, which is going to be like San Marcos, San Angelo, Hardin-Simmons there in Abilene, they actually require you to take either the SAT or the ACT. So it's never too early to start taking these. I recommend you start taking them about your sophomore year because you only get better. Okay? You only get better. If you need help with a tutor, Miss Johnson and I, that's part of our goals that her and I set, was that we were actually going to start teaching some of those classes. We're probably going to have to do some outside resources for math since her and I are not very good at it, but I think that we've got the science and the English kind of down. So the 28 on the ACT, it is capable, and I know that our kids are. We've got a really high level up here, and so we're excited to continually push everybody. So it's never too early to start taking this. Next year, everybody can sign up to take the PSAT 9. It costs $5. We'll make announcements. We'll do call homes. So it's $5. That's it. And then you can start bringing your money, and then we'll be ready to take it. Okay, so here's your PHS typical 4-year plan. Remember that speech and health are a requirement here. Our board voted on that. They thought that it was strong. Ms. Johnson and I are up here speaking, so yes, it is important for everybody to have speech and health. So I'm not going to read that to you. Don't forget, we are in the month of February. Your IPC and your Algebra 1 are counting towards your high school transcript. Okay? It'll be on your, so everybody's not in Algebra 1, but everybody right now would raise their hand and they would be in IPC. It is part of your college. Okay? Colleges will look at that. Step up your game. You've still got time. So we actually have to tell you all this. Starting your junior year, we will send home a piece of paper if you're in the top 15%. However, all colleges, if you're in the top 10% in Texas, they will automatically accept you. So if you're in the top 10, everybody will accept you. However, the University of Texas will not. You have to be in the top 7%. So they've only gone up. They started at top 9%. Then they moved it to 8, and now they're at 7. It's because they've got such a high number of people that want to go there, except me, and Miss Johnson. All right, so we are actually almost done. We have several of y'all that have scheduled appointments. Yes, we know that our system is flawed. We know that we won't be using it again. However, thank y'all for being our guinea pigs. However, if you have not signed up for an individual time, you can either send us an email, which would probably be the easiest, but since our website sometimes doesn't work, or you can go to that tiny URL and you can sign up for your own. If you don't, we are going to meet with your kid no matter what. And then your kid's going to take it home. They're going to say, hey, Mom and Dad, Grandma and Grandpa, sign this for us. And then they're going to hopefully bring it back. If not, we pick your schedule for you, which means that we're going to put you in the lowest number of people that we have. All right? So if you haven't signed up, please do. It's a requirement that we meet with every kid. State law, we have to. Okay? So if you haven't, you can come up with us. We've actually got our timesheets kind of up here, and so we can do that as well. Or if not, then we're kind of good. The very last one is there any questions?
I'm going to make her go back to the 4-year plan really quick because we didn't finish. I just want to go through it a little bit more so you guys understand what you have to do when you go home on that pink sheet. Yes, BIM counts. If you're taking BIM, it counts as high school credit and it counts towards your GPA. Okay, this right here, because this can be a little bit confusing the first time you see it. Every student in the state of Texas is required to have a 4-year high school plan on file. We have to keep it in your permanent file, okay? That's what this is. We update it every year, but that's what this is. You kind of have to plan out what you want to do. If you notice down at the bottom, it has a subject area. It has your English, your math, your science, your social studies, your required or an elective, and then endorsement classes or electives. And then it has 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade, okay? If you're really confused and you want to wait until your individual appointment to kind of mark that up, you can. If not, think about it. I'm a freshman, 9th grade. Am I going to take regular English or pre-AP English? Check which one you think you're going to do. Same thing that goes down. And then down at the bottom on 7-8, those are those 2 electives that you get to choose in one of those endorsement tracks that we talked about. And you can project what you think you might want to take in 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade, okay? So if you're one of those really organized, anal people like I was who had, whenever I was in college had like multiple lists of what I could or possibly potentially take each semester and what it looked like when I was going to graduate potentially and what it was going to look like. If you're one of those people already in 8th grade, first of all, that's awesome. You're going to have it all together, okay? You're going to be ready for high school. If not, that's okay. This can be a little confusing, but mark this up as much as you want to. We'll have extra copies when you come in for your individual appointment, so you can mark it up, make notes, erase stuff, do whatever you want, and then we'll have, if we can have a new one for you that we can put clean, that we can put in the permanent file. But I just wanted to make sure you kind of understood that. And then student and parent have to sign it before it goes in the file, okay? We have to have the student signature. We also have to have a parent signature. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay, hopefully. Okay, so now we're on to questions.
So go ahead and let's look at our really ugly, yellowish canary, whatever we're going to call this today. So this is our checklist. So everybody that's here gets to go ahead and check off one because you have attended the parent orientation meeting. So check on that one. Blank is my child's counselor. So A through J, raise your hand. Who is your counselor?
I don't think that's fair because they know you from before.
K through Z, raise your hand. Who is your counselor? Miss Johnson, good job. All right, so you can go ahead and check that one off. So the next one is that you made an appointment with a counselor on one of the following days, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. So if you already have, good, check it off. Tonight, or sometime before your meeting, please sit down with your child and discuss what endorsement is going to be your best fit. If you still are kind of confused because we went really fast over those courses, look under in your folder, you have an academic planning guide where Ms. Johnson worked super hard at putting this together. And she listed every course